latest that is just coming in. Sri Lankan Navy that has rescued Iranian sailors. The Lankan Navy has carried out a daring rescue operation that was caught on camera. We are playing out those pictures as US bombed Iranian warship. It was the Sri Lankan Navy that came to their rescue. Sri Lankan Navy that rescued Iris Dina, the Iranian ship. And those are the first pictures of how the Sri Lankan Navy rescued Iranian soldiers who survived the torpedo attack on the Iranian warship Iris Dina that was carried out on the 4th of March. About 19 nautical miles off Galle, 32 survivors who were brought ashore following the attack. Those are the pictures of how the Sri Lankan Navy came to the rescue of these Iranian sailors. They rescued them, they brought them out, they took them for immediate medical help, and they were rushed to the hospital. This after the torpedo attack by US against Iris Dina. Several sailors who lost their lives, but 32 of them who survived, and they were rescued by the Sri Lankan Navy. Those 32 survivors who were brought ashore following the attack, and they were immediately rushed for medical help. There you see those visuals of the exact operation that was carried out, and most importantly how the Sri Lankan Navy came to the rescue after Iris Dina was struck by the US. These pictures first on India Today. Remember, Iris Dina on the 4th of March, about 19 nautical miles off Galle, saw a hit by the US torpedo and several sailors who lost their lives in this attack. But 32 of those sailors who managed to survive, they escaped, and it was the Sri Lankan Navy who immediately came to their rescue. They brought these sailors out, they got them ashore and then rushed them for immediate medical help. Pranay Upadhyay joining us from the newsroom to take us through the details of how the Sri Lankan Navy came to the rescue of these sailors and how they conducted this operation.
Suyesha, Sri Lankan Navy is carrying out this rescue operation. In fact, many sailors, those who have lost their life in that torpedo attack by the United States, submarine attack, they have lost their life, and in fact, they have been shifted to the morgue in Galle. And after that, the Sri Lankan Navy is also providing assistance to those of the Iranian sailors, those who have survived. And this is this was the first incident, and in another second incident, another ship, the cargo ship or the supply ship of Iranian Navy, IRIS Bushar. It was also given assistance by the Sri Lankan Navy because that ship also gave a distress call, and besides that, the Sri Lankan President Anuradha Senaike also issued a statement saying that we would be defending the rights of these those who are struggling for the life and those who are in high seas. And in fact, we urge all the warring parties to exercise restraint because international waters should not be used as a battlefield, and these are the international waters, and in fact these are free for navigation, and therefore that freedom of navigation should not be jeopardized in this battlefield, and this should be restricted and contained to a certain area. But that US Department of War and US Secretary of War Pete Hegseth has said that this war was never meant to be fair, and he said that we will hunt down every naval asset of Iran. And in fact, in last 24 hours, United States has announced that they have sunk yet another ship of Iran, which was playing as a mothership, for the drone attacks, and that was of a size of an aircraft carrier of Second World War vintage. So that was a big ship. Yet another ship is being sunk by the American forces. And in fact, if you see the number, has risen to almost 21 ship and one submarine of Iran. So Iranian Navy has lost all these assets, and as per the United States, Iranian Navy is almost being decimated by the American strikes.
Oh yes, absolutely. But certainly the Sri Lankan Navy that came to the rescue of those sailors, 32 of them who managed to survive. Remember, 87 of them who lost their lives in this attack. In fact, the Iranian authorities that are now requesting Sri Lanka to send back the bodies of those 87 sailors who lost their lives in this attack. It was Iris Dina that was targeted by the US. And take a closer look at those pictures, how the Sri Lankan Navy really came to help these sailors. They got them to the shore first and then put them on these stretchers, rushed them for immediate medical help. This is, we understand that the Iranian authorities have been watching very carefully, and they've also requested that the bodies of those 87 sailors who lost their lives in this attack should be sent back. But 32 of those survivors who managed to escape this attack, but they could have probably not survived had the Sri Lankan Navy not come to their immediate rescue. The damage was massive, given how the Torpedo attacked Iris Dina, and this as certainly a big victory that the US calls for itself as they continue to retaliate against Iran. Iran monitoring the damage very closely, but here the Sri Lankan Navy coming to the rescue of those survivors, of those sailors, and 32 of them who managed to survive.